Oh, we're on. Hi, and welcome to Teddy the Tool's Tool Power Hour. I'm your host, Herb. We've got a great show planned for you today. We're located here in Central City in the tool shop, and we're going over the top 10 things you need to know in order to gut out a house for Jesus. Or as my grandpa always says, don't put anything off until tomorrow, what you can do the day after tomorrow. Well, moving on, the number 10 thing you need to know is how to use your work team folder. And we're going to our main man, Otis, over in the office, and he's going to further explain this. So take it away, Otis.
Whoa, hey, thanks, Herb. Right now we're going to go over the number 10 thing that you guys need to know in order to gut out a house for Jesus, and that is how to use your work team folder. Right now we're going to go to our work team folder, which happens to be a organizational masterpiece which I have created. In your work team folder there is a really important document, and that is your work order report. On your work order report, it has a work contact information which has the homeowner's address to the work site you will be working at, and a phone number that you can call in case you have any questions. Also, there is a work description which will explain what you will be doing at your work site. For example, it will tell you how much drywall you're going to be taking down, if you're going to be taking down any ceilings or things like that. Another piece of important information on your work order report is the work team notes section, which will allow you guys to record any important information that might have happened at the work site that day. For example, if a tree falls on the house, you could record it in that section and let us know. Another piece of important information on your work order report is at the very bottom, where you can log in how many people worked at the work site that day and how many hours they worked that day also. I will then be taking those numbers and crunching them Friday night while watching Jeopardy, and then calculate how many total volunteer hours you worked here at Urban Impact. Another important piece of information in your work team folder is the work team map, which will guide you to the work site each day. The map is formatted in numerical order, one starting out at Castle Rock Community Church, falling to number 2, which is at the work site. It then takes you back to number 3, which is back at Castle Rock Community Church. If you have any problems with that, I have a precision typed out, timed out, turn-by-turn directions with mileage markers to and from the work site. Who needs navigation when you have a map created by Otis? There's a lot of general information in your work team folder. For example, there's a house gutting procedures section, which you can refer back to throughout the day just in case. Also, there's a hospital emergency contact information with maps and phone numbers in case an emergency would occur at the work site. There's also Katrina Project staff contact numbers, just in case you need to get a hold of one of them throughout the day. For example, you're going to be needing to contact Trey at 12 and 3, giving him a progress report of how much work you've done at the site and how much longer you're going to be there. You might want to keep your message short and sweet, because that always helps Trey out. Also, in the very back of your work team folder, there's a section with some flyers in case people request information on how to get their own house work done. Make sure you don't give out Trey's personal number or make any promises when work will be done. Right now, we're going to go back to Herb. He's out in the cage, and he's going to tell you the number 9 thing that you need to know in order to get out a house for Jesus.
Thanks, Otis. We're outside of Castle Rock in the cage, and we're going over the number 9 thing that you need to know in order to gut out a house for Jesus. And that number 9 thing is what tools you'll need and how to get them. So let's head over to the tool shed and show you. Well, here it is, all the tools that you'll need in order to gut out a house. What we need you to do is send your work team leader here to talk to our tool supervisors, who will be giving you a checkout list at the beginning of the week. You need to keep this checklist with you throughout the week, just in case you lose a tool or break a tool. You can let the tool supervisors know so that they can replace it or maybe fix it. Or as my grandpa always said, if at first you don't succeed, destroy all evidence that you tried in the first place. Well, we're going to go to Brett. He's going to tell us the number 8 thing that you need to know in order to get out a house for Jesus. Thanks, Herb. We're going over the number 8 thing that you need to know in order to get out a house for Jesus, and that is how to set up and stage your job site. Before you leave Castle Rock, make sure you have all the tools for your job site. Also, make sure you have your water coolers and your food coolers with you. When you arrive on the site, team leader, make sure you go through the house and come up with a game plan so you can assign tasks to your team members. If you're taking out any sinks, make sure the water is off. The best place to turn off the water is at the water meter. In order to get the water cover off, you might need a crowbar or a screwdriver. Once you get it off, you can reach inside and turn it, or you might need a wrench. But if that doesn't work, you can call your tool supervisor and they can bring out a street key for you. The number 7 thing that you need to know in order to get out of house for Jesus is how to do contents removal. When doing contents removal, you're going to come up with 5 distinct piles. The first pile is appliances, washer, dryer, or a refrigerator. The second pile is electronics, TVs, VCRs, anything with the microchip. The third pile is hazardous materials, aerosol cans, spray paint, cleaning solutions, things like that. The fourth pile is trash bags. We want you to use trash bags sparingly because there's a different group that picks up this pile and they usually sit for a long time. And the fifth pile is general debris. Couches, carpet, wood lath, drywall, plaster, all those things are going to be in this pile. Also make sure your 5 piles are separated from one another. Make sure they start from the end of the sidewalk and into the street. Also make sure they're not covering any water drains or water shutoffs. When doing contents removal, make sure you look for things that are salvageable. Fine china, jewelry, important documents, or photo albums. You might want to find a place where you can store this. In this case, we're storing it here on the front porch. Also, if there's any questions or concerns about if anything is salvageable or not, just save it and let the homeowner make the call. When doing contents removal, it's probably best to start at the front of the house and work your way back. Also locate the refrigerator and decide when to remove it. If you can work around it, that's probably best. But if you choose to remove it, make sure you duct tape it up good so nothing comes out when you do move it. It'll probably leak and smell like hot garbage, so it's probably best to save it to the end of the day. Okay, moving on. The number 6 thing that you need to know in order to get out of house for Jesus is how to gut drywall, plaster, and flooring. One of the best tools to use in order to take down drywall or plaster is a crowbar. Cockroaches. When removing plaster, make sure you get all the wood lath behind you too. If you have carpet in the house, make sure you get that up before you start taking down the ceilings and the walls. If you have tile flooring, you can use a scraper like this. If you're taking down ceilings, the best way to do this is use a ladder and get someone up in the rafters and have them kick it down. In order to do this though, you got to make sure that there's no one in the room.